This topic is related to your new chapter. It is called file handling. So in this chapter we are going to learn about what is binary file, then what is text file, then what are the operations associated with the text files and binary files. So this is a brief introduction. What is data file? The data files are the files that store data pertaining to specific application for later use. The data file can be stored in two ways. So what is the use of data file? So data file is actually used to store the data for future application, for future use. The data file can be stored in two ways. You can store the data files in two ways. First one, as a text files. Second one, as a binary file. So first we are going to learn about what is text file. A text file stores information in ASCII or Unicode characters. So text file storing data or information as a ASCII or Unicode character. In text file, each line of the text is terminated or delimited with a special character is known as end of line character. That is, the text file is stored or saved inside the memory in the form of ASCII code. Then it is text file, it is the form of ASCII code, ASCII form or ASCII code. Then the text file, each line of the text is ending with a character. That character is called a end of line character. So this is a sentence. The data file are the file that store the data pertaining to a specific application. So just for later use. So up to here so from here to here one line is over. So in text file it will store the data like this. Then the last, after this point, after this full stop, it will use the one end of line character. So how to find the end of a line in a text file means when you see a end of line character, so that is the end of a line. In text file, some internal translation take place when this end of line character is read or written. In Python, by default, this end of file character is new line character. In these text files, the end of line character is a new line character or a carriage return or the new line combination. So maybe most commonly the end of line character in a text file is /n or carrier return /r or the combination of /r and /n. That is the combination of a new line combination, that is carrier return and a new line character. So these are the text files. So maybe in your exam question come like this: what are the end of line character in a text file? So what are the end of line character in text file? It is /n or /r or the combination of /r and /n. So how the data are stored in a text file? It is in the form of ASCII file, ASCII form or Unicode character. So ASCII and Unicode character means it is human readable form. Okay, if I save a sensitive data with text file, then anyone can see that data. If anyone use that data, if anyone see that data, it is readable because ASCII code and Unicode is readable. So that why the security is less in text file. Saving as a text file providing less security because everyone can read, because ASCII is similar to ABCD, right? So anyone can read. Then text, normally the extension of text file is .txt. If you are working with a notepad, if you're saving one document in notepad, then the extension should be .txt. So same, the .txt file is the text file. So second, binary file. A binary file is just a file that contains information in the same format in which the information held in memory. So that is the main difference between text file and a binary file. Text files means the data are stored as a ASCII or Unicode character, but here means the data in the same format in which the information is held in memory. So how the computer save your data in the hard disk or memory, or okay, in the memory, so the same data is displayed on the binary file. I think you get confusion. That is, the data is the computer saving the data in a hard disk or any other memory location in a computer readable form. So human cannot read that file. Okay, so it is only the machines can read that file. So that is called a machine readable format. So the binary file saving the data as a machine readable form. If somebody get that data, binary data, then that someone opened that data, so he cannot understand anything because it look like a machine code. It is look like the operating system, that is computer know the language, then computer only understand that language. Then in test files it is ASCII form, ASCII and Unicode character. It is normally almost same as your English language, right? English language, then in ASCII. But Unicode means some other language will come, but it's not. It is, if the language know, the people, the man or the guy know the language, then he can easily read that, then he will understand the meaning. But in binary form means the data are storing in a binary file in the form of machine code, in the form of machine readable form. Humans cannot read that. If the humans need to read that, he or she must learn the machine language, then only she can or he can. So that why the binary file is more secure than text file. So text files means anyone can read because it is in the form of ASCII or Unicode. But in binary file it is saving. The binary files are saving in the form of machine readable form. That is, human cannot read that machine readable form. So that's why it's getting it is more secure. In binary file there is no delimiter for a line. In text file the line is ending with a end of line character, but in binary file there is no end of line character. And also no translation occur in a binary file. As a result, binary files are faster and easier for program to read and write than text files. That is, binary files is I already told you that binary files is already in the form of machine readable form, right? Then computer can easily read that language. But in the text file, in the case of text file, what happen is it is in the form of ASCII. First computer convert this ASCII code to machine readable code, then only computer can read that code or instruction. But it is here means we are directly saving the binary file as a machine readable form. That's why no need for translation. So that's why that is why binary file is more faster than text file. So there is some question, why binary files are more faster than text files. So text files, answer is text file it is in the form of ASCII. So if the computer need to read this instruction or code you are written in text files, then first it will convert ASCII or Unicode characters into machine readable form, then only computer can read that data. But in the form of binary file it is already written in the form of machine readable code, then no need for translation. That's why it is no need for translation. That why computer can read that data more faster than text file. As long as the file does not need to read by people or need to be ported to a different type of system, binary files are best way to store the program information. If you want to store a sensitive data, then you can use this binary format, because people cannot read. People, if the one person get this binary file, if he try to open that file, then if he success to open that file, then he will not know. If you read that file, he will not understand anything, because it is a machine readable form. Then next is opening and closing file. Then have to open a file. Before if you want to do any operation in this chapter, we are going to learn about what are the different. We can read text files, we can write into text file, you can write you can read from text file, you can write into text file, you can append the text file. Also here you can read, write, or write, append operation. Then how read operation and write operation and append operation happening in text files, how we can write and read and append data into binary file. In this whole chapter we are going to learn this topic. Then if you want to read a file, if you want to write a file, write into a file, if you want to read a file, if you want to write into a file, if you want to append a file, you must open that desired file. So in order to work with a file from within a Python program, that is actually what happened here means in order to work with a file from within a Python program, you need to open it in a specific mode as per the file manipulation task you want to perform. If you want to read a text file from a Python program, first you must open that particular file. Here this is, suppose you think that this is your Python program. Okay, this is your Python program, this is your text file. Okay, this is text file, extension is .txt text file. So this is my a.txt is my text file. This is my Python my l.py. First, if you want to read this text file from this, if you read means if you want to read any data from this text file to this Python program, or if you want to write anything to this text file, first you must open this text file here, text file in this Python program. That's why he's saying that in order to work with a file from within a Python program, you need to open it in a specific mode as per the file manipulation task you want to perform. The most basic file manipulation tasks include adding, modifying, deleting data in file, in which can include any one or combination of the following operation. This, what are the operations associated with the files? Read, append, and write. That here that is R, W, A. These are the three modes: read, write, append. So if you want to read this file from this Python program, you can open this file, this txt file here as a read mode. If you want to write anything from this Python file, if you want to write anything from this Python file to a text file, you can use a write mode. Okay, there is another extension, appending mode. I will teach you later what is that. Then reading data. The Python provides a built-in function to perform each of these tasks, but before you can perform this function on a file, you need to first open the file. In the data file handling through the Python, the first thing that you need to do, open the file. It is done using open function as per one of the following syntax. That is, if you want to open this a.txt here in Python program, first you can use the open function, open function, for opening this file here. So syntax is this: file object name. This is any valid user defined object name. Then you can use the function called, this is a built-in function, open, then inside this parameter. Okay, this is the argument. So what are the first, open has two, in this, according to your syllabus, there is a two argument associated with this open function. First, file name, second, mode. Here this is an example, my file. So first just leave this my file, open, you are opening a file. So this is your as a part of your Python code. Okay, this is your part of your Python code. First you write open. So tags.txt, this is the file you need to open. You need to open in Python program. So according to our concept, what is the file name? A.txt. So instead of this you can use what? Open double quotes A.txt. Then this open function return a file object for handling file operation. So that file object name you can decide anything, that is a user defined word. Okay, so here my file is the object name. This is called a file object. Open function return a file object. So this is a my file, this is a user defined word. You can use a b c d any where this is user defined word only. Then this is the file name. Then next mode, here you can use three mode. R, I already teach you what are the three mode here. R, W, append, A. Here this is this open function opening a data file called data.txt. Okay, text file called data.txt in R mode, in read mode. That is, then this open function return a file object, file2. This is a user defined word. I will teach you user defined word. Then what is the mode? Using this file object, you can read the text file. You can read the data.txt file only. You can do read only. Writing is not possible, appending is not possible. That why according to the mode, this file of this open function, according to the mode of this file open function return a file object. So here mode read only. So you can read the data.txt. You can read this data.txt. Here that's we say above statement open the file data.txt in a read mode, because we are using read mode here because of R is given as a mode. So you must be careful about this syntax. Syntax means opening bracket, double quotes, data.txt file name, opening bracket close, double quotes close, then comma. So up to here this is a file name. Then next mode is written in double quotes or single quotes, it is possible. So file2, what is that? It is a file object. So what is this one? This is also a file object. Consider one or more file open statement. File3, this is the file object. Then open function, this is the path. This is the path to a result.txt file. So this is the path you already know that in HTML you already know that image src, what is the use of src. So same way this is the path, that is where this result.txt saved inside your computer, that is called path. This is the path. Then it is then what is the mode here? W mode. The Python will look for this file emain.folder. Just leave that. The above statement open file result.txt in write mode, because what is the mode name here? W. If you use R means this file object, using this file object you can read that result.txt only. Then here this is the write mode. Then using this file object you can write any text ASCII code characters to this result.txt file. And attach it to the file object, namely file3. So you can, using file3 object, this file object, you can do read The above given three file opening statement must have raised these questions in your mind. What is file object? Then what is a mode or file mode? So what the file object means, a file object is also known as a file handle. Then it is file object is who returning file object? Open function returning file object. So what are the arguments related to open function? File name or path, or then second argument is mode. The file object, it is also known as file handling. Here what is file object? This is the file object. File 3 is a file object. The coming line will have answer to all these questions, but for now let us summarize the file open function. Then Python open function create a file object which serves as a link to a file residing on your computer. So what is the use of this open function? The open function create a file object which serves as a link to a file residing on your computer. So here, so this is the link between your Python program to this result.txt file. That is saying that the Python open function create a file object which serves as a link to file residing on your computer. That is here. This is file 3. I'm just creating a file object, file 3 here. Okay, this is my file object. This file 3 object, it's a link. It's a link to this a.txt. That is, you can do read operation using this file object. Without this file object, it is not possible. That is why it is called a link. Next, the first parameter of the open function is the path to a file. You had to like the open. So first parameter, this according to here, that's why I am using this. Instead of this, I am using argument, means on the time of calling it is called argument. So here we are discussing about the function definition. That's why here it is saying that it is a parameter. So in your exam you can write a parameter. Okay, this is no problem. Then here the first parameter for the open function is the path to the file you had to like to open. Here this is the path to result.txt. So first parameter of the open function is path to a desired file. So second parameter, what? It is a mode. The second parameter of the open function corresponds to the mode, which is typically read, write, appending. If there is no second parameter is given, then by default it is open it in read mode. Here if I am not writing this one here, I just writing open, then this path double close, then I just close this. Then what happened? If the no second parameter is given, then by default it open it in a read mode. That is the default second parameter of open function is read mode. In the figure 5.1 summarize the open, here this is the more important here, this one. Please note that when you open a file in a read mode, the given file name must exist in that folder. Otherwise Python will raise an error called file not found error. File not found error. So according to this code, this result.txt residing in the E directory. Then inside E directory there is a main folder. Inside the main folder you can see result.txt file. If you suppose you think that in this path, in this folder, in main folder, if the result.txt is not existed, at that time what happened? Python will raise an error, file not found error. So if you must be careful about that. If you are writing the path or file name here, you must check if that file is existing there. Otherwise, the Python show error. Summarize for the open function of the Python program for you. As you can see, figure 5.1, the slashes in the path are doubled. This is because the slashes have a special meaning, and to suppress that special meaning, escape sequence for the slash that is double slash is given. Here, did you see that this is the open function, this is the path. Here we are using double slash. Normally, if you are writing a path, we are normally using single slash. So why we are using double slash here? So that will show the, because double slash, but suppose you think that this is, temp is the file name. Okay, so temp is the file name. Instead of this double slash, I am using single slash. That is then slash t. Python see this slash t, then Python think that this is a tab character. Then according to that meaning, Python take this slash t as a tab key, tab command. It will not treat as a temp folder. Okay, that's why we are using double slash here. That's why this double slash, one slash followed by another slash. The second slash, it is called escape character. Okay. Otherwise, if I am using here only one slash means, then Python check that this slash t is a tab character. Then according to our purpose, what is our purpose? We will send the path. Then Python treat it is as a tab key. So suddenly Python show the error, the data file is not existed there. That's why if you write this path, you should write in double quotes. That is a decent way. Otherwise, you can use, if you want to use a single slash, single backward slash instead of double slash, then you must use this row string character here. This is called R. Open bracket open, then functional bracket open, then you can write a simple small r here. This small r is called row string. Then you can directly write the path with a single slash. Then row function. So what is the use of row string? The prefix r, this one, prefix r in front of a string makes it is a row string. That means there is no special meaning attached to any character. If the R is written here, then Python interpreter does not think that this is a slash t or this is a slash d. Okay, it will tell, that's why it is tell that there is no special meaning attached to any character. If without this R, then Python treat that this is a slash t, this is a special character, this is also a special character. If you are using row string, Python recognize that there is no special meaning attached to any character. Here, if this is an incorrect statement, because we are using what is like we are using single slash without a row string. So what happened? This might give an incorrect result, as slash t is a tab character. Python check C : for backslash t. Then Python treat this backslash t as a tab key. Okay, suddenly it will show the error. What is that? Data file is not existing. Reason being that slash t will be treated as a tab character, and a slash t on some platform as a numeric digit or some error. So slash d is also special character, slash t is also special character. Without a row string, without a double slash, then these slash t and slash d treated as a special character. So thus the two-way to give the path in a file name correctly are you can use / or you can use r, then you can use then followed by r followed by then single backward / path. File object file handle. File object file handle. The file object are used to read and write data to a file on disk. The file object is used to obtain a reference to the file on the disk and open it for a number of different tasks. I already teach you that. So this is the definition of file object. A file object is a reference to a file on the disk. It open and make it available for the number of different tasks. File object. It is a very important and useful tool as through the file object only. A Python program can work with the file stored on the hardware. All the functions that you perform on the data file are performed through file object. That is, according this meaning that you can do different type of operation, read, write, append through file object. Otherwise, it is without file object you cannot do any operations in a files. Then what are the different types of file access mode? So you are already familiar with read write mode. Then one other mode is called appending mode. Then here we are going to, this is the R mode. In text file it is R. In binary mode means read binary, RB. So we are this I already teach you there are two types of file, text files and binary files. So here this R is actually for text file, but it is in the case of binary file means you must write R followed by a B, then RB, read binary. Then you can, using these two mode, R mode, RB mode, you can read only, you can do read operation only. Then some note is the file must exist already, otherwise Python raise an input output error or an input output error. That is, if you opening a file object in a read mode, okay, if you open a file object in a read mode, then inside the open function you just write one path. You just write one path to a file, then you execute that program. Then Python check this path, then Python can't see that file on the hard disk or memory location. That is, in this path that file is not exist. In this path, in this location, file is not exist. At that time, if you open this file object, open file object as a read mode, Python show error. That is showing that the file must exist already. If it exists, then Python will not show error. That is, the path is correct. And according to that path, if the file is exists there, then Python will not show error. If the file it is not exist there, then Python show input output error. Python raise an error. Then in second mode is W mode. According to the text file it is W, then in binary file it is WB. Then description, write only. This using this W mode you can do write only, you cannot read. Then if the file does not exist, file is created. So if you are honest, if you open a file object using W mode, then if the path, if in this first parameter you already know that that's the path to a file. In that path, if the file is not exist, then the Python create a new file on that particular path. on that particular path. Okay, if according to read mode, if the file is not existing, what happen? Python show error. But in the W mode, if the file is not existed in that particular path, then Python create a file. Python create a file. It does not show error. Python create a new file in that particular location as the same name of your file. As the same name of your file. Example, if I just open, instead of this R, I just using W, just think that W. Then if this data.txt is not existing in this path, then suddenly the Python created data.txt in a write mode in this particular location. If you are using, instead of this W mode, if you are using read mode, means if the data.txt is not existing in this path, then what in this location, then it will show, the Python show an error. Instead of this R, if I using W mode, if the data.txt file is not existing, then Python create a new data.md data.txt file in this location. So that is the difference between read and write. Then if the file exists, Python will truncate the existing data and overwrite in the file. So this mode must be used with caution. So that's the main another point. Here, if the file is existing, here this is my file. It already containing data A, B, Z, D. A, B, C, D. Then this is my a.txt file. So a.txt file. If I create a file object using open function, and this is my file object name is A. Then in a W mode, then first of all, what is the first parameter? This is a path. Okay, path. If the file already exists on that particular location, then what happen? If you write any operations here, if you write anything to any data to this a.txt file, it will overwrite the existing data. That is the main problem of W mode. The original data is there. If here first ABCD is existing here. If I need to write XYZ to this file, then I just write a code. Then what happened? ABCD is overwritten with XYZ. You cannot, now what happened? ABCD is truncated, that is, it is deleted. Then in that position XYZ will come. So that is the problem with the W mode. Next, then append mode. Append mode, according to text file, this is append, then binary file means AB. So append. So what is the file in a write only mode? Append means using that file object you can write to a file. If the file exists, the data in the file is retained and new data being written will be appended to the end. So you already know that what is the problem with the write mode. If I use instead of write mode, A mode. Okay, A mode, then first ABCD is existing there. Okay, just cutting here. Okay, ABCD is existing here. I just create a file mode a file object as the form of AB. Then file object AB using A mode, appending mode. If you write anything to this file using appending mode, then the new data come after the existing data. If I going to write this XYZ here, then XYZ come here, X, Y, Z come here. after the original data. So that is the difference between appending and writing. Writing means original data will delete, new data is overwritten with the original data. But in append mode is what happened, original data will be there, then new data is appending at the last of the original data. That here, this is my original data ABCD. Then using append mode, I just write XYZ into this file. Then the XYZ come after the existing data. So your old data is safe, new data is safe. But in W mode, what happened? Old data will lose. Old data will lose. Okay. So you must be careful when you are using W mode. If the file does not exist on that particular path, Python will create a new file. The same way. But in read file means, if read mode means if the file is not existing on that particular location, then what happen? Python show error. In W mode, if the file is not existing on that particular path, Python create a new file according to our file name. Then same here. Appending function is almost working like a W mode. Append mode is almost similar to W mode, but only difference is this will append the data, but write function, this write mode overwrite the data. If the file does not exist on that particular location, Python will create a new file according to your path, according to your file name. Then here R plus means you can do read and write operation together. Using add you can do read only, but using R plus mode you can do read and write. But in binary file mode you can write R plus B or RB plus. Read binary write, or read plus B means read binary file in a read and write binary files. W plus means write then read. First write then read. Here you can represent W plus B or W B plus. Same way, if the file does not exist, otherwise it is showing error. Same like a R mode. Both reading and writing operation can take place. Using R plus mode, you can do read and write operation. Then in W plus mode, file is created if does not exist. Same like a W mode. If the file exists, file is truncated, that is past data is lost. Same like that is old data is truncated, deleted, old data is overwritten with the new data. Then both reading and writing operation can take place. Using W mode you can do only write operation, but using W plus mode you can do write mode as well as you can do write operation as well as read operation. Same like A plus mode. A plus mode means write and read. File is not created, file is created if does not exist. Same like A mode. If the file exists, file existing data is written, new data is appended. Same like if the original data and new data will be safe in append mode, but in W mode old data will lose, then new data. To create a file, you need to open a file in a mode that supports write mode, that is W or A or W plus or A plus mode. I think you understand this concept. Then here how to close this file. First you open a file in a Python using file object. After if you write, if you do operation, if you read operation is completed, if your write operation is completed, or your appending operation is completed, after you must close that file object. That is, you must disconnect that link between your Python program to from your Python program to that particular file. An open file is closed by calling close method of its file object. Closing of file is important in Python. File are automatically closed at the end of the program, but it is good practice to get into the habit of closing your file explicitly. Why? Well, the operating system may not write the data out to the file until it is closed. What this means is that if the program exists unexpectedly, there is a danger that your precious data may not have been written to the file. So, moral is once you finish writing to a file, close it. So that meaning that you must, if you create a file object, then this file object give a link between your Python program and your desired file. So after the operation, after the use, you must close. So what is the use of that means? Use of that means, okay, your Python program, then your file, then you just create a link between here this. So this link created by open function using file object. After the use means what are the use? The read mode is reading is over, or writing is over, or appending over. Then you must close this. You must close this. Okay. Otherwise, if you forget to close this, what happening means, suppose you think that if you write a code to or write data into the file, if you are not close the file object, then operating system does not write data into the file. Maybe it will residing on the memory buffer. So don't worry about that. Okay, I will teach you later in coming section. We are going to learn about what is the if the file close object is not used, so some problem is happening here. Maybe if you are forget to write file close if you forget to write closing an object file object, then suppose if you write a command to write this abcd into this file, then after the program execution there is no error. Then if you open this file object, if you open this file, then abcd will not showing here because of it abcd residing on the memory buffer. Okay, so it is better practice, you must close after your use. You must close the file object after your use. So how to close the file object? Syntax file object dot close function. Okay, if later example file3 is our object name. Okay, so file3 dot close, that's enough.